Hello, here is the Just Breathe investigation by Emmanuel, Teresa, Hannah, and Pranav. So first off, we have gill breathing. So gills, including lungs, are organs that provide oxygen to animals such as fish. Gills have a wide surface area due to their form, which is important because the greater the surface area, the more water, oxygen-rich, can be handled. Fish gill lamellae can cover an area 40 times larger than their entire skin surface. Gill cover protects the gills. Now let's look at how animals breathe. By the mouth, water flows through the gills. The water's oxygen is absorbed by the lamellae. The gill cover is open and the mouth shuts. The body's water and carbon dioxide are then pressed out. Usually, the gills are at the side of the head, but for some animals, like crabs, the gills are at the legs. Most fish have 4 gills on each side of the head, making it a total of 8 gills on their head. Here's how the regular fish's gills look like, and here's a diagram of how gill-equipped animals breathe. Alright, let's get right into lung breathing. The lungs are a pair of air-filled organs located on either side of the chest that provide oxygen to many animals. This includes mammals, birds, reptiles, even specific types of fish and amphibians. There are actually 2 breathing methods the lungs can function in: abdominal breathing and chest breathing. Abdominal breathing is where the lungs expand and contract due to the lifting and lowering of the diaphragm. During chest breathing, the chest expands. Humans usually do a mix of the two. In the lung, there are tons of tiny air sacs that are enclosed in a thin membrane. The oxygen is absorbed through this tissue and transferred into capillaries. Then, the oxygen is delivered throughout the body with the bloodstream. Finally, the oxygen is processed by the cells and tissues, with the carbon dioxide as a waste material that leaves the body the opposite way. So here's how lungs work. Abdominal breathing, up, versus chest breathing, down, right here. Alright, let's get into tracheal tubes. A tracheal tube is a soft, hollow tube, a catheter, that is inserted into the trachea. Its main function is to help the patient maintain a proper exchange of carbon dioxide and oxygen. There is more than one type of tracheal tube, each with slightly different functions. The endotracheal tube is usually made out of polyvinyl chloride and is almost always inserted through the mouth or nose to help with breathing. The size can vary based on the patient's size. The tracheostomy tube is a curved tube that can be used to bypass an obstructed upper airway, help safely deliver oxygen to the lungs, or to remove mucus from the airways. Tracheostomy tubes can help with problems such as tumor, severe neck injuries, and subglottic web. Lastly, the tracheal button. It is used to ensure an unclogged airway and worn by the patient during the day. It doesn't extend into the trachea as much as the other tracheal tubes, so it is fairly to breathe and speak even with the tube in place. Here's how a tracheal tube might look like. So let's get into diffusion. Diffusion is the movement of molecules which are of a higher concentration and go to the lower one. As cells use up the glucose and oxygen they produce, waste chemicals, and carbon dioxide. If these were to build up in the cells, they would poison them. Therefore, they diffuse out of the cells into the blood. Diffusion also makes it possible to reduce the loss of body heat to the surrounding environments. There are 3 types of diffusion: simple diffusion, osmosis, and facilitated diffusion. Simple diffusion is the movement of molecules through a cell membrane without using the channels formed by integral membrane protein. Facilitated diffusion is the movement of molecules through those channels. Osmosis is a process by which molecules of a solvent tend to pass through a semi-permeable membrane from a less concentrated solution into a more concentrated one, thus equalizing the concentrations on each side of the membrane. And here's kind of how diffusion works and the types of diffusion. Alright, here are the credits. So for gill breathing, it was Emmanuel. For lung breathing, it was Teresa. Tracheal tubes, Hannah. Diffusion, Pranav. The source of communication is Pranav. The voiceover and video was Emmanuel. The slides are Teresa, and here are the links to how we got our slides. So yeah, that is our slides, and that is the Just Breathe investigation. Thank you for watching, and bye.